Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the Euro USD, GBPUSD, and come up with trade ideas for the day, if we have any. So let's jump right into it, looking at Forex Factory. So obviously, we do not have any news today as well. Yesterday, we didn't have any. Today, we do not have any news, and the first piece of news will be tomorrow when the president Trump speaks, but that will be 2 a.m. So probably see the results on the markets, afterwards when we wake up in the morning, okay, during the London session and maybe the preceding New York session afterwards. So let's jump right into the charts and see what transpired and what we can expect. And so starting with the Euro USD, this is what we have. We see that price after this strong push up. We've been in a pullback phase. We had this strong reaction, mitigated the supply, and then we have continued this pullback. However, we have not closed below these lows so far. And price did mitigate the proximal of this demand zone on the daily, and we've had a bit of a reaction. Okay, we've had a bit of a reaction, not the strongest reaction, but we have had reaction. So it is likely that if the pullback is to continue, then price will continue bearish, okay, to take out this demand and possibly go on to mitigate this extreme demand of this leg, okay. Otherwise, if the pullback is complete, then we might expect to see price come up higher, take out this newly created supply area, okay, this newly created supply area, take it out, and then continue towards the week daily swing high. So in terms of supply areas, this is what we have. So all of this is internal. So right now we do understand that we are pretty much just in a pullback phase. Okay, price is bullish, but we are in a pullback phase. Same thing for the pound. We had a strong push up right there, and then we've been pulling back. Okay, mitigated the supply, respected it, and then we've come down lower, made a lower low, mitigated this, and mitigated demand. Okay, the origin of the move, and we've had a slight reaction from it. Okay, so if price is to continue bullish, then this could be the area where it continues bullish from. Okay, otherwise we might be expecting to see price maybe react, okay, tap into this area, okay, and then continue bearish. If it does, then all these areas have been mitigated. Okay, all these demand areas have been mitigated, and the only demand that has not been mitigated is this one. Okay, so we may expect to see price maybe give a reaction and then come in and mitigate this demand before we see price push up. Okay, so this is what we have. So looking at the 4-hour, on the Euro USD, this is what we have. So this was our last swing break of structure and our last internal break of structure. And since then, we've been in this pullback. It is more pronounced, more visible on this 4-hour chart. And then we've continued making lower lows, okay, and then continued to go lower. All right, and then we pushed up, and then we mitigated this demand for our demand that is at the proximal of the daily demand. And then we've had a strong reaction resulting in a change of character. Okay, and because of that change of character, price, however, failed to mitigate the supply. Okay, let's see. Well, in a sense, you could say it mitigated, because this is an engulfing candle. Okay, and then this is the candle right before the imbalance kicks in. Okay, the candle before right the imbalance kicks in. So if we extend our range, so even though we didn't mitigate the pivot, okay, we do understand that price has mitigated the demand, rather the sell, the buy to sell range. Okay, so the buy to sell range has been mitigated and price is reacting from that. And then this demand, it was a weak demand, okay, because it did not achieve anything other than a fractal break of structure. Okay, so we may expect price to continue to just keep on trickling down, okay, maybe to mitigate this extreme, okay, before we have another reaction bullish. Okay, and then looking at the 1 hour, this is what we have. So price did mitigate this supply area, okay, which had a sweep and then a strong push down. So we mitigated it right at the proximal, and then we had a push down, and then we had a come up, second test, and then we had a strong push down. Now we've mitigated this demand, okay, and it looks like this demand might fail. So let's see. Okay, so this demand is just holding. And then when we look at price, so right now we have relatively equal lows right at the bottom. Okay, so these are relatively equal lows. So this is resting liquidity down there. So that could likely be a target for price. Okay, that could likely be a target for price. Let's see what else. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. Okay, so that means in the short term we may be looking, okay, we may be looking at possibly price might come down, okay, sweep these, right, and then maybe have a bit of a reaction bullish again. Okay, or this could be the switch that's happening. So this may be the strong low that's created, strong internal low, okay, and then we may have that, okay, another break, and then price might continue bullish afterwards. So as it stands though, I am more looking towards price targeting these lows, okay, targeting these lows. Okay, so that's it for the euro dollar, and then let's look at the pound. Starting from the 4 hour, so starting from the 4 hour, let's see. So we have had our break, okay, we know that this is our break, swing break with a strong push up, and then price has been coming down. So our internal is definitely bearish, okay, our internal is bearish. So after break of structure, we expect some kind of pullback, which happened after we mitigated this demand, okay, and then we had a slight pullback. Now the push back down is not as strong, okay, so this could be a sign that sales or sellers, they're getting weak, all right, and then now price may be willing to push up higher. Okay, so of course we do have this demand, this supply rather, that we have right up there. Okay, so price could push up into that supply. If price is to continue bearish, price might push up into this supply and then continue bearish. Okay, otherwise this may fail, and this could be an indication that price is now willing to push higher. Okay, so let's look at the 1 hour. So looking at the 1 hour, this is what we have. Let's see. Okay, So from the 1 hour, we've had an internal break or sub internal break to the upside. Okay, if this is the current range that we're in, okay, that means we are still bearish. Price is still bearish. Price is still bearish. Yes, we had this pullback. Okay, try to reach to this area. We didn't quite mitigate that area. Price did not quite mitigate this area, but we had a sweep, and then we had a strong push down from that, and then we had a price retraced, and then prices come back down. However, we have not yet made a lower low. Okay, so this area is providing support and price is holding. Okay, and then relative equal lows are very clear right there. Okay, so this would be an area of target. Okay, so price could push up a little bit and then just melt. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'll probably be focusing on. But also, you just have to be aware that price could simply sweep these areas. Okay, price could simply sweep this area and then push up. Okay, meaning that this could be the start of our internal pullback, right, and signaling the end of this downtrend that we've been in. Okay, so we just have to be aware of both scenarios, and then we act accordingly as we look at the price action. Okay, so I think those are the two main ideas. I think pound is a lot more clearer, okay, in terms of what it may do. Okay, so we do have support, so we may expect price to drop. Okay, take the liquidity down there and target this one as well. Okay, or it may just take this liquidity and then react bullish. Okay, and let's see. So we do have this area of demand. Okay, right there. So price could mitigate that area of demand and then push up. Okay, so this is what we may be looking at to see today. Okay, this is what we may be looking to see today. So other than that, this is my analysis for today. So please, if you find value in this material, don't forget to like and to subscribe and leave a comment below. Let me know how you're finding value with this material. Otherwise, have a good day, and Working Trader out.